What's up guys, welcome back to a new video. I lost some footage of getting the Borla mufflers installed besides the welding that you see. I did go with a bit of a different setup from other 2018 Plus models to be able to support this modification. 2018 Plus setups will have the dual tips built in. I went with a single exit into dual tips to support the flames. Now let's get into installing this flame kit.
Alright guys, so part 2 of the install that we did yesterday of the Borla attacks. What I am doing now, since these are the single, exit mufflers that I put dual tips on, we are going to be installing also the Hot Licks exhaust thing. So we are going to be spitting flames on this thing. And I'm going to show you guys pretty much how you guys are going to wire it for S550s and pretty much the basics of what you're going to need and everything. But as of right now, I am running these cables down to the spark plugs that have been welded on at the shop, so it can pretty much stay snug and everything. So yeah, stay tuned and you guys are going to see this install for this flame thrower kit, and when it gets dark out, I'll show you guys a clip of the flames, so stay tuned. All right, so as you guys can see right here, there's a little grommet piece. There's another one right over here I took out. It's right here. But pretty much all we're gonna do is pop those out. And when you pop these out, what I like to do, so I don't have to pretty much leave a open hole, I like to get a knife, go to the center, and make one little gash. Just like so. So pretty much you make one little gash, and then I like making a little like triangle. I like making a little plus sign in there. So pretty much whenever I put something through, it can just feed it through easily. So now I get the wire, push it on through. Make this hole a little bit bigger. Just like so. Alright, as you see, I was able to feed it through. Now, just pretty much, just pulling it through. About that much, since that I think it should be enough to reach the spark plug down there. Now let's go down there and I'll show you guys what you're going to do with this end. So we can connect it to the spark plug. And as you guys can also see, I got this zip tied down so it can be secure and not go anywhere. So as you guys can see, the wire is right here, and the spark plug that we will be connecting it to is right here. So after we connect it to the spark plug, we can start working on the ignitions. So with this little piece, this little elbow piece that they give us, this connects right into the spark plug right here, like so, and this end will go into the wire. What they want us to do pretty much is get the wire and spin it into here. Just spin this piece on like so until it is snug. Alright, that is secure. Not coming out. Now, what we do, just plug this right up. Just like so. And then now, what we can do is tuck this wire up a little bit more. Alright. Now that we got it done on this side, we will be moving on to the other side. So after we ran the spark plugs wires, we ran it into the vehicle through these little grommets, as you guys can see right here. Now what we have done, we have grounded the ground for the control module. So now that that is grounded, I have also got my 16 gauge wire that we are going to be using, and I already have spliced it with some heat shrink. As you guys can see, I will be covering this also up with electrical tape for double the protection. But now what we will be doing is feeding this wire down the vehicle into the passenger side pretty much area, and then after that I will go to the hood, and we will be going to the ignition cable, cutting that and splicing that as well into the vehicle, this little button right here. So yeah, so after we wire the back, as you guys can see here, we have everything grounded down. We also have the positive running down the car, and we also have the spark plugs hooked up in the rear. You guys can see the wire runs behind the seat, goes down. It will pretty much be running down through here. As you guys can see, we'll follow the laser. It will be hidden under behind the seat, following down through this little area right here. It will be right going down through here, feeding around over the seatbelt, coming down this whole entire side panel. And as you guys can see, this red wire right here is the one that runs from the back of the car to the front. Now these right here are the ones that run from the front of the car. It's ignition wire to the front, to the button that will be placed right here. So yeah, I will be placing a button in this area right here on this. So I will just have to drill a hole somewhere in this little area right here so I can place the button. But yeah, from then, after I ran all of that, the front end that was ran though, we ran it through right here. I don't know if you guys can see, but you guys can see that my red and black, these are going to be my ignition cables. This runs underneath the battery terminal, the battery and also the box. So you got to remove the box. That's an 8mm, 8mm here, 8mm for the box, 10mm for the actual positive and negative terminals. So pretty much just undo those. And right behind here, you guys can't really see it, but right behind there is an opening with some little gaskets. I'll try getting a little picture somewhere here so you guys can see. But that is where you will feed in through that little gasket, and that will run straight over to your glove box, like so. You can see right here, this runs to my glove box behind this, and it will come out of this little area right back there. If you can see, the firewall is right there, and the wire is coming out from the top right up there. So when you feed it in through there, it will just pop right through there. So you just gotta grab it. Afterwards, I fed it down over, up, and it is going through the vents. As you can see right there, we are running it through the vents. From the vents, we have run it down this piece, and from that piece, you just go underneath and run it all the way to wherever you need it. Some people like to put their button here. Some people like to put their button over there. Me personally, I like putting my button on that side since it is on my left hand and it's pretty much more of a driver's thing. So yeah, I have it on that side. But yeah, we got to make this hole for the little button and splice these up, and also splice up the ignition cable, and we will be done with this project. So what you're gonna want to use to drill a hole for the wires splice for the button, I put it actually on this little panel right here. You guys can put it also in here, but I found that it is a little bit easier to put it on this little panel, so that's what I am doing. But you will need a half inch drill bit for it, the button, and you just drill into wherever you pretty much need. You take off this little nut right here from the bottom, how it comes, and you just screw it up top. Then you get the little red button right here, and with that little red button you just put it back on here, and yeah, then after that we'll splice everything together and we'll be done. All right guys, and now that we got the little button snug, all we're going to do, grab this little button piece, the red piece, and just pop it right back onto here, just like so. And now it's ready to be used. And that will go right there, like so. Now let's get into splicing these wires right here. Alright guys, and just like so, you guys saw me splice these up. Everything is spliced up and tight. Now what we will be doing is putting back this little piece, and now we will go under the hood, splice the ignition fuses, and then we will be putting it to this, test it out. I'll show you guys how to test if it works, and you know how pretty much to run it. And then on top of that, we'll be clipping this back up and we'll be done, guys. And as you guys can see, this connector that connects to the fuse box and runs into the cable harness for the vehicle, we snip the purple right here. We don't snip, we snip the side for the fuse box. So yeah, we snip these. Now we will splice these with these right here, and we will be finished. So we have finished splicing the purple wires together. Now all we got to do, we will connect these back, click, run this a little further back so it can be a little more flush, make it look nice and pretty. Bring it back and under there. All right, now all we got to do, connect the battery terminal back onto here. Make sure to put the negative back on there. Get our 10mm and just tighten this up. Now we got the negative terminal back put on. We can cap this off. Now the next thing we will be doing, we will be going into the car and connecting everything up to the button. The module will have the black chassis ground and the red. The red will go to the middle of the little button. So for me, it's this red right here. I will put a little piece of tape afterwards to mark that this is the one that runs backwards. Okay guys, now for the other ones, for that run from the ignition cable to the car, I am not 100% sure if this one or this one is going to be top or bottom, but easy way to figure it out. It's a 50-50 chance. You know, you just press the button, I'll show you guys, and if the car dies out, then you got it, and if it doesn't, then you just got to flip the two, and then after you flip the two, you'll be pretty much set. So let's do that right now. All right, and just like so, we have wired everything together, and now what we will be doing is starting the car and testing if this button will cut the car off and cut the ignition, or I have to reverse it and we'll be set. Guys, moment of truth. Let's see if this is wired right, or I have to flip the ignition fuses so one can be at the top and one can be at the bottom. So we will see. let's start it up. As you guys can see, it works now. This is the correct wiring, so black wire from the ignition will be coming down at the very bottom. I'll show you guys which one the black is, and then I'll also show you the red one. But if you guys ever run into the issue that you guys aren't able to pretty much press the button and it'll cut power, it is in the result of just pretty much these two that have to be flipped. So if you run into the issue that you can't pretty much cause it to cut off, just flip them and you should resolve your problem. But this is how it pretty much will do. As you guys can hear, the car bogs out. So we know it is working perfectly fine. So now let's slap this back on and we will be done with this project. All right, guys, so as you guys can see, everything is nice and flush now. We will just test it one more time, make sure everything is good after we place the button in this little area. Yep. All right, it works. All right, guys, so I ran into some troubleshooting issues because of the reason that the rear end actually wasn't getting any spark. The spark plugs weren't getting any spark, and that resulted in the reason that the ignition fuses were actually flipped in the wrong way, so it wasn't getting all the voltage that it needed. You can see that this black one right here, I actually had it where this red one is. So since I had it where that red one was, I actually had to flip it, since on the side right here, if you guys can see, I don't know if it will focus. Yep. But it says COM and it also says NC. So the COM is supposed to be the red one, which is a positive. I had a negative on the positive terminal that it was needing on. So what I had to do was pretty much swap it, because the NC is a negative connection. So you got to flip. If you guys are running a negative wire, which is black, and then also running a positive, you just got to flip them and it should give you spark in the rear. And if that doesn't give you any spark in the rear, then at that point you would have to run for testing with the multimeter. And then if that doesn't work, you may need to get some other spark plugs, which you can possibly stop by from your local AutoZone, which I also did, because I did think that at first it was that issue, but it wasn't. It turned out not to be. But yeah, if you guys run into any issues with your spark plug and you test your spark plug is a faulty spark plug, I definitely recommend for you to stop by your local AutoZone and you can pick up one of these. It is code 6003. That is what I saw on the spark plugs on the back, and they were also Autolite from AutoZone. But yeah, if you guys ever run into that issue that you can't get any spark in the rear, just come back to your little button right here and flip these, which make sure your negative connection is always at the top, and then the positive connections will be at the bottom. If it makes it easier, you can just look on the side again and you will see that it says COM and NC. So yeah, that's how you will know. Just take NC as negative connection, and yeah, that is pretty much it. And now let's get into shooting some flames. So what you're gonna want to do to shoot some flames is you are going to pretty much rev up the car, and when you rev up the car, you're going to aim around the 5,000, anything above 4,000 and up. Also just even red line, but try avoiding hitting red line as much as possible. Just you can hit it a couple times, but try keeping it around the 4,000 to 7,000 range. But yeah, when you do that, all you got to do is pretty much, once you press the button, you have to hold down the gas and yeah, you'll be able to pretty much shoot the flames. So let me show you guys how to do that right here, and then I'll show you guys in the back on me shooting some flames. Just like so. So as you guys saw, I held my foot down on the gas pedal so I could be able to press the button and spit the flame. So now let me go in the back and show you guys exactly how the flame looks. That's how you spit flames. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.